Assalamu alaikum. My name is Almir Kolan. In this last episode where we talk about youth money, I actually want to talk about a topic that is not necessarily related to the youth. It is related to every one of us who works with youth. It is for our leaders in community, our organizations, dawah, political, any kind of movement that works with youth or works with anything or anybody. We have serious problem. We have disconnected from the youth. You see, we have created structures in our organization, business, voluntary, dawah, work with this, work with that, where youth cannot engage with us anymore. In fact, if we follow productivity of our work, we find that our organizations, from the start they started until now, often are failing to meet their vision and continue to compete successfully. If we measure the performance of most of our organizations, look at the dawah organizations, they are usually set up in a way to answer a specific challenge. Then they start from 100% of whatever that means, and they over the time start dropping. They include only those close with them. It is very difficult to penetrate anymore. They become self-obsessed. It is very difficult to attract talent, attract new blood, new people, and this lose the major opportunity for us to improve. If you measure the dawah, for example, output, as we measure GDP in economy, how many hours of work, how many lectures, tapes, things, how much we are producing, with what sort of resources, with sort of money, who is producing, how much. If we measure these things and if we track this performance, we will realize that by the time we established our organization, few years after, we are dropping. And that is what we officially say, it's a recession, when the contraction in the growth happens. Do we feel that our dawah, for example, is in recession mode, that it is going back? Often we find organizations who do things, and every day, every moment, they are dropping quality. And in fact, those people who want to introduce something or do something usually have to either separate, or they come from outside, they can't get in, and we have a splits. We have broken hearts. Now these organizations are becoming more like a takeaway shops, where loyalty, membership, all of these things from majority of the people is such low, at low level, where they go to these shops or organizations just to take what they need and they get out. And they swim between all of these organizations like supermarket and just getting a little bit and they're getting out. Are we losing ourselves? Are we losing our capacity? Where is the point of shura if we are almost like a communism running these organizations? Do we have foster difference of opinion, or is the group think something that kills any creativity, any challenge, any new ideas? How will youth work with that? That goes from organization to the government to anything in between. We have to think the way we do these things. How do we going to, sometimes it takes a miracle for some idea or new member to get involved in the shura. Shura become usually the place where ideas are stopped, brakes are applied. And we assassinate new approaches and things. And this is what we need. We cannot live anymore on the old stuff. If we're having website and we're pushing the tapes and publishing the books 10, 15, 20 years ago, what are we doing now? How did we manage to change our dawah? If we are running TV station, what are we running now? If we are doing street dawah, what are we doing now? If we are doing whatever, if we are establishing Islamic Bank, what are we doing now? How are we progressing? How do we measure? Do we even care how this is, where it is going? Or is it we are just happy? We started a little bit and then we drop the quality. We don't have any more aspiration. Or do we actually want much more? This is where the youth are. This is what they are watching. And we need to find within ourselves courage that we sometimes admit that we are wrong. That sometimes the way we run things need changing. Focus, stop. Because if we don't do that, we are losing youth. We will not engage them. They will disconnect. They will not feel represented. The solutions we are having, we are not talking about the message here that we are trying to push. But the way that message comes, it's not anymore relevant. We are not relevant. I mean, the phone I'm using today had the same basic function like the phone I was using 10 years ago. but the features, the everything. Nokia is now in the past, doesn't exist anymore. It's all about iPhone and now Samsung. Things are changing. It's the same basic function, Dawah, life, Islam, everything is, the message is there. But the way we are innovating, the things that we can innovate, like muamalat or approach or something like that, not about message and the core context which we are talking about, the way we are delivering this message, the relevance that we have and the connection we have with the youth, the women, the young, the old, we have to reassess our situation, because the youth can't do it on their own. They can't just themselves fight against all of these odds. We have to have enough guts to say to ourselves that we were wrong and that we will take commitment to do whatever it takes to fix these mistakes, to involve these people and lead really and live strong. That was the last segment. Thank you very much. My name is Almir Kolan. Assalamu alaikum.